Is English a mix of a bunch of languages? What does that even mean? On the internet, I'll always see stuff about how English is just a patchwork of a bunch of different languages, but as somebody who's studied linguistics, it doesn't really seem right to me. I think what I don't like about it is that mix kind of implies that it's this random process where different parts of different languages mix in at random. But languages don't just get whisked together like cooking ingredients. And certain parts of a language don't really change at all, regardless of how many languages you mix in. So English is a Germanic language that descends from Old English, but it has a lot of influence from Norman French and Latin. But I still wouldn't call English a mix of Old English, French, and Latin. That's because for the most part, the only thing that English has inherited from French and Latin is vocabulary. English doesn't use the Latin case system or French word order or anything, and in everyday speech, we actually mostly use words that come from Old English, not the other two. Like this whole sentence that I'm saying right now only has one word that's not from Old English. Sentence. It's only in more academic sounding sentences like this that we start to rely on more inherited vocabulary. Languages borrow words all the time, and within the last century, a lot of languages have started to borrow a bunch of English vocabulary, but it doesn't mean they're slowly becoming English. And a lot of the borrowings didn't even maintain their original meanings. So like villain comes from a word that doesn't mean some like evil guy, it just means like poor person basically. So villain is just like an English word. It's not like a mix of French or something. It just originated from a French word. And a lot of Latin and Greek sounding words aren't even from Latin or Greek. They're just neologisms coined by English speakers like television. I think a lot of people like to think of English as just this random mix of a bunch of languages because it sort of justifies its place as a global lingua franca. But it's really not that special of a language. It just happened to be spoken by the largest empire in world history. I guess what I'm saying is that calling English a mix of Old English and Latin and French is kind of like calling a Christmas tree a mix of a tree and ornaments. Like it's not really a mix, it's just like there's more of a layer of history there.